give you a quick run through. This little castle tunnel thing, I've noticed, see how there's a fish back there? That's a female. I've noticed I've got different kinds of tetras in there. They like to, for some reason, have their young in there. But I've got too many aggressive fish and too many numbers in here. They eat the babies. Now, my most aggressive stay under this like tree branch back there, as you can see. And like the reason why a lot of them are pregnant, fish can hold their babies inside them for up to 4 to 8 weeks before they pop. So I've got too many fish in this tank, and that's why they won't have any babies, which is a good thing because I don't want it, because it'd be out of control. And so that's why I put a lot of numbers in here. Now, for example, I've learned aquatic plant splicing, and what I mean by that was I ran out of plant food, so now and my bulb died. And I didn't have enough money to replace it for 3 days. And just 3 days without light has really started to kill my plants. You see that leaf that's transparent is dying. And the snails, depending on what plants, this is why snails are so gay sometimes. See that plant right there that's got no leaves? The snails have eaten it, or either my really aggressive silver tetras, like that silver tetra right there, or beta, yeah. See that one right there? I think they are the ones that have eaten the leaves off of like that plant right there. It's either the snails uproot the plant, and I've caught them uprooting it. So I'm thinking they're the ones that have eaten it, and my auto is actually not taking care of the algae anymore. Like, see, I have the algae ball over here. I need to roll it over here to this area. But you see that plant in the back, how it's doing well, and it's doing well, and it's growing a lot of new plants. Well, the betas, or the aggressive tetras and snails, have uprooted this, because once the root system gets exposed, it shocks the plant and it really ruins it. And it's not doing that well right now. And these are really hard to establish. Those are just as hard to establish as actual grass. The wavy, what's it called? Toad grass, I think. Right now, this tank was doing really well. I've had this tank now for a year and a half. It's very established. Like, the water's super clear, but that's because of the aquatic plants. Like, again, I say aquatic plants is what makes it self-maintain. I don't have to do any. I don't have to do a lot of ammonia deionizer and pH balancing and put the stress zyme and deionize the nitrates and nitrites, because the plants really take care of that. The reason I keep reiterating this is because that's going to be a segue into when I show you this trick that I learned in my 10-gallon that I don't have in any of my other tanks. And my temperature, especially with semi-tropical animals or fish that I have, this is brackish water. It's not fresh water or salt water. It's a mix of both. And when you put salt in the tank, it does change the effect. You know, everybody has different effects, but it does change it to where you're gonna run into issues because everybody has different experiences where you need to balance your salt water. Because the thing I've noticed is when you have a lot of a water evaporation, you don't add more salt because the salt doesn't evaporate. So if you keep adding more salt every time you add water, you're just making it saltier. Now, the reason why also this tank does so well is because I have a filter back there that's got the bio-wheel. The bio-wheel is necessary. Right now I've got major problems. That's why I'm destroyed my room, and I'm making major improvements to my tanks. The bio-wheel keeps good probiotic bacteria, just like when you eat yogurt, you know, it's good for you. But see how it's not spinning? Because I was trying something new. See those little white things back there? The little white things back there? Those were biofiltration that I was putting extra carbon and biofiltration in my filter so that I thought it would improve it, but it actually stopped the water flow from making the bio wheel spin. You never change your bio wheel. You need that to stay in there. You don't ever want to change it. Now, I do have I had 4 snails in here. 2 of them died, and this little one right here has not been growing that well. But this big one over here was a little tiny baby thing, smaller than that one when I first got it. And it's just, snails, that's how they work. They dominate. And some of them take off and some of them don't. But I was going to try to show you its mouth because they're so disgusting, but he's actually not eating right now. He or she's not eating right now. But I was going to, if I can hold it still. You see its mouth right there? It looks so disgusting. Anyways, I've got all kind of colorful rocks. These smooth rocks, you see these different rocks were from my anthropology rock collection, and I would put them around the plants to anchor them in to stop the snails from uprooting them. And now see, they go through all my rocks and move the rocks around so they can uproot the plants. Snails are good because what the auto misses, like that algae, I need to scrub that off. The snails will come through on the side of the glass and eat that. But again, I just got to take care of it. I've been neglecting my tanks this last 2 weeks because I've been so busy working the website and stuff. Now I do have an air stone. See the tube, and it's like in the middle, and the air stone is like down there. It's not working because I've unplugged all my stuff because I'm making a major change. But apparently, I only had that cave in there. I didn't have this. I just got money to get that, and they like that much better. For some reason, they feel more. I thought they'd feel more secure in the cave, but I don't think they like that. They like this thing because they can go in and out of it of all different areas, and I think they can see all around them. Because see how I have so many fish staying in there now? And different types of fish. The neons, the red neons, the betas are coming in and out, and the tetras are staying back there. So that's interesting. Now let me take a break so this video stays smaller for me to upload. When I come back from the break, I'm going to show you why I was talking about, gosh, I'm so scatterbrained tonight, I'm so tired. Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to show you the salt water. The temperature in a semi-tropical tank needs to stay at, let's see if I can get it, between 74 and 80 degrees. And it's a little hot, if you can tell. It's like right at 80, and it's right at 78, almost 80. That's why I do multiple thermometers. I do a real thermometer in the tank, and I do these side thermometers on the outside. Because see, over here, because I got my heater over here, and it's reading about 79 to 82. If you go over 82, you're going to start burning them up. And now, if we go over here, I'm getting a temperature reading on this one saying 78 to 80. So I know the heater is regulating the water all around, but it's going a little hot because I like to keep it right at 75, honestly. So that way I know this side, for some reason this side's a little bit hotter because it's registering 79 to 82, and this one's definitely green on 80. So maybe it's just because I put my lizard basking light right here to show you guys that maybe the light affected that, because right here in the center of the real thermometer inside the tank, it's saying, let me see if I can get it, it's saying right at 78, 79 degrees, and that's optimum, but I like 75 to 76. So the salt water, once you start adding salt, a little bit of salt, it changes the temperature and the way the water regulates its temperature. You need to keep that in mind. Now, I thought I just saw my Otto. He is so hard to find. He's like the algae suckers that get really big and they're disgusting. They look like catfish. I don't do those because those are not good algae eaters. Really, they're not. They're just a way for pet stores to make money. The Ottos are much cheaper and they're more efficient. So I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to show you the first part of my 10-gallon, the trick I was talking about setting up that I've never done. in my 10-gallon, and it's mainly because I'm all about really aquatic plants. When I started, last thing, when I started my tanks, I did not start my tanks with the intentions of even ever getting fish. I just wanted to do an aquatic terrarium where I grew plants, because I was stressed out at that time. This was like, you know, almost 2 years ago now, year and a half, and shh, those are my little parakeets going crazy. I wanted to grow aquatic plants in an aquarium, kind of like people do Zen gardens. They do the little sandy rock gardens. It was kind of going to be a project like that for me, but once I established this tank and I saw all these pretty things, like all the pretty plants taking off and rooting in, I was like, well, I might as well get some fish. And then I got too many fish. I couldn't stop buying, and I got way too many fish. And the neons, the blue neons and the red neons, they were so tiny when I first got them, and now they're huge because they're about 2 years old. And see how aggressive those silver fish are? They're like sharks in the water. That's why I had to remove all my guppies from here, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I had to do it. They were killing my guppies. They were picking at the male's tank. They were picking at the fancy male's tails. And when they pick at the fancy male's tails, so much to where they can't really efficiently swim, they'll die. It's just like a shark, almost. Like if it stops swimming, it dies. So this was the tank where I had my guppies in here well established, and they were having babies on their own. I wasn't even creating conditions for them to do it. I just saw one day I had babies way back here, and I was like, wow. And then I come back literally 6 hours later, and I didn't even have those silverfish in there. I just had these I had these 5 red tetras in there, and they ate them. And that one female little baby I showed you earlier was the only one to survive. And I put her in this mesh net in this 20-gallon tank, and she survived. And so now she's an adult guppy over there with the other, in the a set of 3 guppies in my 0.5-gallon tank. Alright, so I've been kind of ranting, and I want to move on to showing you guys tips about setting up the new tank that I'm doing. But remember, when I show y'all tips, this new 10-gallon tank that I'm setting up is more for aquatic plants than actual fish ownership. And you know, everybody